Water flows from high in the mountains. Water runs deep in the earth. Miraculously, water comes to us and sustains all life. Water and sun green these plants. When the rain of compassion falls, even a desert becomes an immense green ocean. Yeah. Mark Holman has been library director at Sitting Bull College since 2001. In addition to the library, he also works as instructor, part-time security, and assists the college with Standing Rock Garden initiatives, for which he's more famous, I think, than being the library director. Mark has been tracking and recording the ongoing Dakota Access actions and resistance near Standing Rock, in addition to providing various levels of support. And now.
Well, thank you, everyone, for inviting me. This is really a special treat, and thank you for your support for Standing Rock. It's good to come and hear so much support from so many people, and people being engaged with the camp. And I always tell people it's great if you can visit the camp. I said, before you make a decision, come down and visit. I've been telling that to politicians, and I don't know, some of them are deaf, I think, but some have been here. Yeah, some have. But thank you for your support, and I hope, this is going to be a critical couple weeks coming up, and I think, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just came in on the radio and was listening to, our representative talk about the riots, and I said, no, there's no riots going on. It's a democratic action, probably a great movement that's taking place on Standing Rock, and it's something that needs to be at least recognized by a lot of our politicians. And I haven't been to the camp. It's been a couple weeks. I live 18 miles south in Fort Yates. My wife and I work at Sitting Bull College, and even living that close, it's hard to get up there sometimes because we get busy at the college and with our lives. And actually, this whole thing has really, I think everyone in Standing Rock, it's increased our workload. It's and it's a good way. I bet I spend half my day some days answering phone calls, emails, people coming into the library from the camps or looking for the camps or calling, wanting to give money to the effort and things like that. And so I guess that's my part, is just to be there as sort of a conduit for, helping facilitate some of the things that are taking place. I've had some of you may have seen, there's a couple plastic bins full of books out at the camps if you've been out there in the information tent, and I keep trying to fill that up with books, but again, it's hard to get out there. Deliver some mail to a few of the teepees out there from time to time, because there's few people out there that need to get mail that are from out of state, and so everybody's doing a little bit. But since early on, I've been thinking about archiving this, and thinking that this could be a moment in history that's here and gone, before we know it. And it's gone on for much longer than I initially thought. I mean, a lot of us started with this back in April or March. We had a 3-day meeting at the college that was focused on this, and that's when Sacred Stone Camp started right after that. And then this summer, everything just exploded, and it just became this huge movement. And when that happened, I sent out the call on Facebook and just word of mouth, asking people, donate your photos, your physical items, your documents, your videos to the college library. We're mainly a college library, but we also serve as a sort of the de facto archive for Standing Rock, and we have a lot of historical items from the tribe going back many years, from the college, of course. And so I thought this is an important role. I really need to step up and do this. And I've received some things, and I think there might be a little fear out there from some as to, what might happen to those items if this thing goes badly, and police want to come in and get that information, although a lot of it is on Facebook. So I've been sending out the message that after the fact, donate your stuff before it gets lost. Life goes on, people get busy, and photos and videos get lost. But in the interim, I've been going on Facebook and social media where this whole thing is taking place. I mean, if you watch the mainstream media, it's not really there. The local media, I mean, it's there a little bit, but it tends to have the specific slant of the local media. But Facebook is where this ring has really been happening, with live streams of things that are actually happening, photos, just conversations, memes, these photos that have, writing on them that really do a good job of recording whatever the moment is. So I've been going on and I spend, maybe half hour every day just saving stuff. And then I guess right now that's what I'm doing, and after the fact we'll try and identify possibly who actually owns these things, and maybe get some gifting going on. But some of those things, they get out there and then they disappear. Somebody takes their Facebook down or deletes things, and so I've got about 4,000 photos and memes right now, and I guess that's the main effort right now, because that's about all I have time for, is just gathering this stuff, saving live feeds. People now through online can do these live feeds, and like the other night when there was the altercation at Backwater Bridge, there were a couple people doing live streaming from that and talking about what's going on, and I'm sure some of you were watching those. But I've saved a number of those, and I know a few of the filmmakers I've actually talked to, and they said, yeah, go ahead and save that stuff, and because again, they might not save it, although I've been encouraging people. It's a really simple thing to save those live streams, save those photos, but again, you get busy, and especially if as intense as it's been, with some of the actions and things like that, it's it's sort of not in the front of your mind, but those things are real important documentation, especially when there's all this sort of difference of opinion as to what actually happened in some of these events. Morton County says one thing, the water protectors say something else, and what's the truth? Well, this video, can possibly dispel some of that, by seeing what actually happened on the video. And so there were a couple filmmakers from Texas, no less, that came into the library, and a lot of the people use the library because they can come and upload their stuff pretty quickly, and outside of the casino there isn't really a place to access the internet, and so they had a drone out there over the top of Backwater Bridge, and some of you may have seen that video, and they said, well, yeah, the police were trying to shoot our drone down, and but it's in everyone's interest to have a video record of what's going on, so that because the human mind is fallible, memory's fallible, and if you can look at the video and say, oh, that's what happened. That's where the explosive device came from, or whatever, and so they said, yeah, we'd like you to keep our videos, and so it's stuff like that. I'm interacting with people from different organizations, individuals who are wanting to have their stuff, have more of a long-term lifespan. Because 10, 12 years from now, 15 years from now, people say, what happened? What happened on Standing Rock? And so we'll have that record. And I think, I know some of my library and archive colleagues across the state, I mean, this is such a political hot button right now that they might not be gathering it, or at least from the perspective that I'm gathering it. And I've been sending out a call for pro-DAPL stuff as well, because I really don't want to miss that frame as well, because there's sort of two frames of worldview that are looking at this from totally different aspects, and I think it's important to try and save both those. But my social media is stuck in no DAPL, and so that's the tendency of social media, is it's sort of it becomes what you make it. And so if you're not liking or interacting with those certain things, then but when I do see them, I say, oh yeah, that's a totally different perspective, and that's dangerous, because you've got these two speeding trains headed towards each other, and what's going to happen? There needs to be conversation. But I want to save that stuff as well. And I'm hoping this whole thing doesn't blow a big hole in North Dakota, because like Don said earlier, we all got to live here. A lot of us do after the fact. I mean, so, we want, to mend what's broken up to this point and prevent whatever could be broken from being broken further. I'm not very eloquent this morning, sorry. I think I need another cup of coffee to really hit my stride. But anyway, I've been saving. Actually, you may have seen some of the photos. I had about 500 plus photos on a PowerPoint loop. Photos, memes, all these different things, artwork that come up. And, it's become this global thing now, and so it's almost hard to keep up with. And, I'm thinking about the next step. Okay, maybe I need to call in some more help, because it becomes this thing that sort of absorbs half my day now. It's fine, but and I hope if you come to Standing Rock, those of you would come and visit the library. I mean, we're 18 miles south of the camps. You just follow 1806, and you can stop at the college. The library's open to the public. We have Wi-Fi, computers, and everything, and so I haven't really sent that out to the camps. I haven't really said come all, because we're not that big, and so I know there's word of mouth has gotten out, so there's a dozen people come every day at least from the camps, and use our Wi-Fi and computers and stuff, and that's about what we can handle with students. So but we like those people to come. So I'm always soliciting new ideas, because I may not be looking at this, with a full picture about how I can access some type of social media or something out there on the internet that is covering this, videoing it. It's become so big that there's so many sources that it may take a village, as I think Hillary Clinton once said. Yeah, right. Oceti Shakoween is the 7 council fires. So it's the 7 bands of Sioux or Lakota, Dakota. And I'll screw it up if I if I say them all. But anyway, from Minnesota all the way into eastern Montana and Wyoming is the traditional area of the Oceti Shakoween. And so that term has really come into use, as especially now, as this is the first gathering of the Oceti Shakoween since the 1800s. And so, we've been using it at the college as well for language. because we have the two dialects on Standing Rock, Lakota and Dakota, which are very close, but they're distinct in some ways. So we've started to move towards using Oceti-Sakowin for our language. So anyway, thank you, everyone.
Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you.